The Price of Tomorrow, Part 3. When Tomorrow Fades. The sun rose slowly over the quiet village, painting the sky with streaks of orange and gold. Birds chirped in harmony as if celebrating a new day, and the warm rays kissed the earth with gentle hope. In the distance, children's laughter filled the air as they ran barefoot along the dusty paths to school. Among them was Daniel, his small frame bouncing with excitement, clutching his worn-out school bag as if it held the treasures of the world. Today was the day he had been waiting for, the school trip. He had talked about it for weeks, counting down every single day, and now it was finally here. His heart raced with joy, unaware of the sacrifices that had been made for this moment. Back home, his mother sat alone on the edge of their old wooden bed, staring at the space on her finger where her wedding ring once shone. The skin there was pale, a soft mark left behind by years of wearing the symbol of love and promises. Now it was gone, sold to pay for Daniel's trip. She touched the empty spot and whispered softly, her voice trembling like a leaf in the wind. It was worth it, wasn't it? A tear rolled down her cheek. That ring wasn't just gold. It carried memories of laughter, vows, and dreams she once shared with the man who had left too soon. But to her, Daniel's happiness was everything. If losing a piece of her past meant giving him a piece of joy, then so be it. She forced herself to smile as she imagined his excitement, his wide eyes when he saw the places he had only read about. That thought gave her strength to stand up and face another day of survival. The truth, however, was harsh. The money from the ring was gone, spent entirely on the trip. There was nothing left for food, nothing for rent, and the electricity bill sat like a shadow on the table, threatening to swallow them whole. She left the house that morning, walking toward the market with hope clinging to her like a fragile thread. Her plan was simple: sell a few vegetables from the small garden behind the house. It wasn't much, but it was all she had. Under the scorching sun, she sat on the ground with a basket of green vegetables, waiting for customers who never came. People passed by, but everyone had their own struggles. Some looked at her with pity. Others didn't look at all. Hours dragged by. Hunger gnawed at her stomach, and thirst burned her throat, but she didn't move. By evening, when the sky turned purple and the call of crickets began, she counted the coins in her hand. Not even enough for a loaf of bread. Her heart sank, heavy with despair. She walked home slowly, her feet tired, her spirit broken. But when she reached home, Daniel came running toward her, his eyes sparkling like stars. Mom, you won't believe what I saw today," he shouted, his voice filled with pure happiness. He talked endlessly about the tall mountains, the big river, the colorful birds, and the food that tasted like magic. His words painted pictures in her mind, pictures she could never see with her own eyes but could feel through his joy. Then, with a big smile, he reached into his pocket and pulled out a small seashell. "Mom, I brought this for you. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen," he said proudly. She took the shell in her trembling hands, her lips quivering as tears filled her eyes. To Daniel, it was just a seashell. To her, it was everything, a treasure more precious than gold, a symbol of his happiness, and proof that her sacrifices were worth something. She hugged him tightly, burying her face in his hair, wishing that moment could last forever. But life is cruel. Days turned into weeks, and reality came knocking harder. The rent was long overdue, and the landlord's patience was gone. One morning, his angry voice thundered through the small house. "You have 1 week to pay, or you're out." His words were sharp like knives, cutting through the fragile walls of her hope. She tried to plead, her voice soft and broken, but mercy had no place in his heart. He slammed the door behind him, leaving silence that felt louder than any scream. That night, she sat by the window, staring at the moon while Daniel slept peacefully on the bed. Her mind was a storm of thoughts. What else can I sell? What else do I have left to give? She thought about working extra jobs, washing clothes, scrubbing floors, even staying out all night, but her body was already failing her. Her hands were rough, her back ached, and her health was slipping away like sand through fingers. Still, she whispered to herself, for Daniel, for him, I will fight until my last breath. The next day, her battle began. From dawn until dusk, she worked like a machine, scrubbing, cleaning, carrying heavy buckets of water, bending until her bones screamed. Every coin she earned felt like a drop in an endless ocean. But she never stopped. She couldn't stop. Days blurred into nights, and nights into mornings. Her body grew weaker, her smile fainter, but she carried on. For Daniel. Always for Daniel. Then, one evening, Daniel noticed. He saw the dark circles under her eyes, the way her hands trembled when she held a cup, and how her laughter had disappeared. That night, he woke up to find her sitting on the floor, her head in her hands, sobbing silently. "Mom?" he whispered, his small voice breaking. "Are we going to be okay?" She looked at him with tear-filled eyes and forced a smile. She didn't want him to see her fear, her pain, her hopelessness. So she whispered softly, "Yes, my son. Tomorrow will be better." But deep down, she wasn't sure if tomorrow would ever come.